What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new video, and we're going to be touching on the January transfer window in this video and what you think we need in order to really help the fight for survival. Before we get into that, and there's a few other bits and pieces. Well, before we get into it, though, please like the video. It's free to do, helps out the channel immensely. Big up to Mr. P for the super thanks on the last video, much appreciated. And big up to all members of the channel. Your support makes this thing go. Now, listen, people, we are at this stage, as we've said in previous videos, we're 15th right now, and we do have a tough fixture list coming up ahead. But if we are still in this kind of position come January time, recruitment will be important because we're not the only ones that will be looking at recruitment or what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. Teams below us will also be doing that. We're already hearing about West Ham, Wolves, and everything else. You know, Ivan Toney being linked with a loan move back ahead in this World Cup year. I mean, I think we should be all in that, but I don't think we're going to be. And in future videos, we'll talk about who we think we're going to be linked with, you know, and we'll do that probably next month, I would say. But the list for me isn't going to be very pretty, but we will need strengthening or more bodies into it. We've already seen, you know, at some stage this season where we had a few injuries and then our bench looked absolutely horrific. So it is important that Leeds United do look at recruitment, but I'm wondering where you guys think we should strengthen. Now, before I get into that, someone asked on the video the other day, the stream the other day, when was the last time all three promoted clubs won on the same day? Well, Up to Joe has given us that information. All three newly promoted clubs have won on the same Premier League match day for the first time since match day 10 in 2020-21 season. So it just shows you how rare that feat is with all three promoted clubs doing so well at this stage, you know, in comparison to previous years. So much so that, you know, Wolves, who give Victor Pereira a new contract pretty much, I think it was before the season started or just after, his job is currently, you know, under question. And we've seen Brendan Rodgers. I don't know if anyone's caught that, but Brendan Rodgers resigned from Celtic. Big statement on the Celtic website about their relationship with Brendan Rodgers. It's kind of things that have happened before with Brendan, but he's been linked with the Wolves job recently. So there's a lot of stuff going on. By the way, with Wolves as well, Jose Sarr outside with fans talking about, I know we're playing, you know what, the manager, you know, almost getting to it with fans. I say all of this because the promoted clubs have shaken up the Premier League this year, unlike the promoted clubs in the previous couple of years where they've been able to coast. We've actually shaken things up. West Ham have changed managers. Forest have had 3 permanent managers in one season so far. We have made things uncomfortable. Sunderland, they're a story by themselves at this point in time, but Burnley and Leeds at this point in time are holding their own. Now, things can change. It's still early. We haven't even played 10 games yet, but the fact that we're doing this is good stuff. And in terms of the table, do I expect this to stay the same? Obviously not. We've talked about the fixtures coming up. We've got Brighton next. If we beat them, we can drag them below us. We got Forest before the break, and then it really gets tough after that. But if we are in a position where we're still looking at possibly, you know, being competitive to stay up, where would we strengthen now? I just want to give a little shout out to Sean Longstaff. There's been a lot of prop this week in terms of another player, but Sean Longstaff, Leeds United put this out. How good has Sean been since joining Leeds? No player has created more big chances this season. Now, somebody said to me yesterday, but look at that, it's corners and stuff. Well, I'll go the other way on that because, again, if I had an agenda, I'd say you're right, it's corners. But at the end of the day, those corners have got to land, and they have been. That's the thing I've been impressed with most about Sean Longstaff is his set pieces. Now, the previous couple of games to the one that we had against West Ham, I thought he'd gone off the boil a bit. I thought his performances were very ordinary. Now, if you're talking open play, Sean Longstaff, it's okay. But when you're talking the set pieces, they are finding Joe Rodon. And there was one instance in one game, can't even remember which one it was, where he found Joe Rodon about 3-4 times. You know, so long may it continue, because at the same time, people will say that these big chances don't count because they're corners. These corners could easily go all the way over everyone's heads, out for a throw-in and everything else, and then we wouldn't be talking about it. So long may it continue. Clean up some of the you know, on the field open play stuff, but listen, he's doing better than I thought he would have at this stage. So, keep it coming. And it's going to be vital in terms of surviving set pieces. We've seen this season, not just from Leeds United, but throughout the Premier League, they are going to be vital. So long may it continue. Brendan Aronson has been getting a lot of prop on the social media as well for his performance against West Ham, rightly so. But at the end of the day, he's got to follow this up. He's got to follow it up. He's got 1 goal in 9 games. So, it's no point just keep on talking about the West Ham thing. Can you at least half give us what you did against West Ham against Brighton coming up? That would be the next question. But that leads me to the next point. We do need quality injection, quite clearly. And I'm thinking, if we are still, and I'm going on the basis that we'll probably be up against PSR, let's just go on that basis when we talk about this in terms of recruitment. If we are up against it against PSR and we have to make some player sales and loans out, Joel Peru is on my list to go. And it's not that I dislike Joel Peru. I've been quite vocal in saying that, listen, DCL isn't pulling up any trees up front as a striker. Joel Peru should be given an opportunity there, but it's quite clear that he won't be given an opportunity as long as DCL is fit. So if we've got an asset that is still pretty valuable at this stage of his career, let him go in January if someone's going to buy him, because I think we can get this. We'd easily get at least the 16 back we paid for him, easily as well. Don't let it be like another asset that we've got at the football club and let it depreciate into the point where we're selling them for way under market value, and then they start to, be the player we thought they would be elsewhere. Let's get ahead of it and move him out and strengthen that striking area, because for me, that is the area that we need to strengthen more than anything. Creative midfielder is another one. We'll get into that in a moment as well. But we definitely need a true number 1 striker. Now, under Daniel Farke, I think DCL is his true number 1 striker. But I'm talking about a striker that actually, scores goals. I know it's a crazy concept, people, but I want one that can find the back of the net. And I think it's important as we get to the real crunch months of the season that we have someone that can come in clutch and put away those chances when we actually do get them. So if we can get money for Joel Peru, that will obviously, satisfy PSR, and it will get a player out that isn't playing. By the way, the players I'm mentioning leaving, even though people see it as weakening the squad, they're not playing at this moment in time for various reasons, whether it's they're not favored, injured, what have you. They're not even playing at this moment in time. So if you're moving them out and getting players in that could play, I think it is strengthening, under this coach. So Joel Peru would be my candidate to leave. Another one, again, we're very light at wing, and before people say it, I would obviously sell Jack Harrison. I would obviously do that, but we know under this manager, he's not selling Jack Harrison. He loves Harrison. He loves these guys that work hard and do all of this kind of stuff, the bread and butter stuff. He's not going to sell Harrison. So for me, it's a moot point even mention him. But another one that we could, see a sale on is Willy Gnonto. And we know Willy Gnonto is struggling with a bit of fitness and injury at this moment in time. But there were rumors of the whole Saudi Arabia kind of move if that was to happen. If Leeds United are able to get Saudi money for Willy Gnonto, you have to take it. It would satisfy so much in terms of PSR. It would be unbelievable. We'd have so much wiggle room, and there is scope to get in a player. Now, the caution I have, of course, is would they get someone better than Willy Gnonto with the way that they're recruiting? Maybe not, but will they get somebody that they could probably use in the closing months of the season? Maybe so. So that would be another candidate for me to sell in order to strengthen in the attacking midfield area, where I think it's quite clear what we are. We're trying to be hardworking, industrial, but you still need someone to give you that pass from open play, not just from set pieces, but from open play to try and unlock the door at times as well. Now, another one, I know this isn't going to happen, so people say, well, KG, you just said it's not realistic, but for me, if you're going to get in a new striker, and let's just say we could push the boat out and get Ivan Toney. It's not happening. We're not going to go for Ivan Toney, but if you could sell Joel Peru, move Lucas Metra out, even if it's a loan just to get his wages off the books, I would absolutely do it, man. Get rid of Metra. It's quite funny on the screen. It said all the angles of Lucas Metra's first Leeds United goal. It's his only goal, but it's one of those. But yeah, I would absolutely move out Lucas Metra to facilitate, a real premium striker coming in. But again, I know that's kind of unrealistic, but we've seen it with other clubs where they can see a player isn't suited to the level that they thought they were getting. Wolves have done it in previous years. They spent 45 million on a player one time, sent him out on loan that very same January, the next one. We're not going to do that at this football club, I'm aware, but I would absolutely do that with Lucas Metra. So The pleasing thing for me, people, is what I've been speaking about is that there's been no talk of goalkeeper. We're absolutely fine there for the first time in forever. Frozen settings, we can say that we don't need to strengthen in goal, which is great. But listen, people, give me your thoughts on where you think that we would need to strengthen come January if we're still in the race for staying out of the relegation zone. And I'll see you in the next one, people. Don't forget to slap a like on the video. Peace out.